Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Ashley Vandenmyracker. I'm a specialist with Duval County Public Schools' Family Engagement. We are thrilled to have you here with us this afternoon. I'm going to hand it over now to Brittany, and I hope you all have a great time.
All righty, I'm Brittany Cavalli. I'm one of the secondary ELA specialists, and I'm going to be walking you through our online materials. So this is a snapshot from the DCPS Academic Services page. It's just a little bit of it. You can go and look at it at your leisure, but it basically explains that our adopted materials are standards and research-based. They're structured, balanced, and comprehensive, and that the curriculum that we employ and our programs employ explicit, intentional, and differentiated instruction to meet the needs of all of our learners. The first thing we have is our core curriculum, which is McGraw-Hill Study Sync. This is our digital platform and textbook. So this is a little snapshot of what your students see when they log in. This is where all their texts are housed. This is where their skill lessons are housed. So they should see this on a pretty regular basis in their ELA classes. All students in ELA grades 6 through 12 use this as their core curriculum. It's an online platform for teachers and students to interact with the texts. It's easy to use, adaptable, and interactive. So your students have access to it via the platform, but it is also intended to be assigned alongside instruction and discussion, which is where this comes in. It is used in conjunction with our PowerPoints that are in our curriculum guide. So it's supposed to work hand in hand with everything you see on your screen. So we have our first read, which they can do in the platform, the skill lesson, which is in the platform and in our PowerPoints, and then our close read, which is the last part of our lesson. All right, we also have some supplementary programs in ELA, which is Exact Path. I'm going to talk more about that in a second. And then we have programs that are specific to all of our intensive reading and reading courses. So Exact Path is our supplementary program that we use, and it is all online. 6th through 12th graders use this. They take a diagnostic at the beginning of the year, and it places them on a learning path, and it places them at their reading level. So they're working on filling in gaps independently using this program. They should be doing it 40 to 60 minutes per week, 40 if they do not have an intensive reading class, 60 if they are in an intensive reading class. It is an intervention program to help build them up to grade level. Then we have Language Live, which is our intensive reading curriculum for 6th through 8th grade students. They should do this 2 to 3 times per week, depending on the schedule of their school. This program is for students who scored level 1 on the state reading assessment primarily. There is teacher-led instruction, but there's also an online component as well that the students work on that deals with grammar, vocabulary, comprehension, and word training. Actively Learn is the intensive reading program for 9th and 10th graders. It is also 2 to 3 times per week, depending on AB schedule for high schools. This program is mainly for students who scored a 1 or a 2 on the state reading assessment. The way that our curriculum has it, the texts are scaffolded up, so they start with a below grade level text and then move up to a grade level text, adding scaffolds as they go. Mastery Prep is our reading program for our 11th and 12th graders. This is it's online test prep for ACT and SAT, also 2 to 3 times per week. This program, this class that the students would be in are predominantly students who have not passed the state assessment by the time they reach their junior year. They work through the program through scaffolded course modules. All right, there are all the contacts for secondary ELA, so feel free to reach out to any of us if you have any questions about any of our platforms.
All right. Awesome. Well, you know what? I'm going to pick up where you left off, Brittany, and let's talk about mathematics. I am Emily Collins, and I am the supervisor for secondary mathematics, our grade 6th through 12th grade. And we'll just talk a little bit about our online learning platforms. The good thing is, we're 100% digital. So we do always ask that students have their laptops and or it's provided at the school site so that they're able to interact with the curriculum as the teachers are instructing. Okay, I just want to start with our vision. So the Office of Mathematics vision is just to inspire all learners as lifelong mathematicians through high quality, and we want to have strong tier one instruction is what we mean by high quality. Inquiry-based experiences. So a lot of our textbooks, they're going to start with what we call as problem-based learning. And we also have scaffolded instruction. So our teachers work really hard in order to provide some of what we call as our tier one supports to make sure that when instruction is given the first time around, that students are able to learn and be able to practice and understand the material. And that will help us to create those strong critical thinking and problem solving skills. All right, so the very first thing I'll start with is our core programs. And so I'll just start with grade 6 through 8, really. Our grade 6 through 8 uses our Savvis Easy Bridge, which is our Savvis Realize program. And that's how students will access all of their curriculum and practice. And then if we look at our Algebra 1 and Geometry, they will use McGraw-Hill. Those are the only two courses that uses McGraw-Hill. And then our Algebra 2 students will use Big Ideas. And then we also have Mastery Prep that is supported as a practice for that best end of course. And then we have courses for our upper level students who may be in 10th, 11th, or 12th grade, but they may take math for college algebra. They could take calculus honors. Some of those other courses there, we do house those through My Math Lab. So you can kind of see we have a lot of core platforms in order to support the curriculum that goes on in Duval. If we look at our supplemental programs, and what we mean by supplemental, these programs are designed to help support all tiers of our students' performance. So our Exact Path program supports our middle grades mathematics. So students that are in grades 6 through 8, they're taking those middle school courses. They get a chance to work with our Exact Path program to support their core curriculum. So that means if students are struggling with some of the materials that they've learned in their core class, they will be able to use Exact Path in order to close some of the gaps and allow students to practice some of the skills that may be needed in order for them to be successful for that on grade level performance. We also have Khan Academy, and Khan Academy is available as support for our high school courses. So if you think about any of our high school courses from Algebra 1 all the way up to AP Pre-Calculus even, students are able to log on there and be able to practice and watch videos. And it depends on the student's selection in the course. But if you do have students that need to watch videos, this is a very good supplemental program in order to support. Our last program here we talked about is Mastery Prep. And Mastery Prep is a support for our best end of course. I know it's a little bit different in the ELA side, but in mathematics, we actually use this for our algebra and our geometry students to practice those grade level assessment questions that they will have. And it is, designed for students and teachers to talk about those strategies. So in other words, when they actually see a test question, what is it that you're thinking about and how do you solve it? What is the right way in order to get you to the answer? So it's a good support program for our Algebra 1 and Geometry students. Now, students are able to access all of the programs from duvalschools.org. Right there in the middle, you can see where it says blended learning. They can select the appropriate application in order to support their work, and they can log on right through there in Clever. I also recommend that parents, as you're working with your students, have them just show you some of their online work, have them and let them allow you to navigate through the work that they see and the problem types that they get for practice. All right, when we look at this is our core for grade 6 through 8. And the Savvis Easy Bridge, there is a wealth of information for students in order to access the things that they need and to support them with their coursework. So you'll see that there's an interactive student edition. There's even a family engagement letter. So hopefully teachers are sharing this with you. I know a couple teachers that send out emails and they do share what students are working on for the topic. And that way it allows you to have discussions with students and also follow up on the work that they should be doing for that topic. As we look at this is an example of the family letter, and I will pause to let you take a picture if you have your phone out. If you could take a picture of the QR code at the bottom, it will allow you in order to look at each of the topics that is presented in our grade 6th, 7th, or 8th. And these are parent letters that allow you to practice with your student some of the major concepts and skills that happens within those topics. Now pause just a second if you need to take a picture. Okay, Brittany. All right, perfect. So when we look at our Algebra 1 and geometry, our core for McGraw-Hill, our Algebra 1A, Algebra 1 honors, Algebra 1 geometry, and geometry honor students, these are the students that will use this particular platform. And so as you look at McGraw-Hill, you can click on Brittany. I have some pop-ups here. As you look
Okay,
at
there we go.
McGraw-Hill, it within the textbook itself, it does allow the students the opportunity to kind of grade where they are coming into that module. How do they feel and that they're ready and prepared to perform? The important vocabulary is also at the beginning of the topic. And the explore activities are so very important for students. It allows us and the teachers in order to capture certain prerequisites and misconceptions students may have before they even go into the new learning. So we like to allow the students to bring their thinking in before they're adding that on to what they're learning for the day. That's okay. With the last two there is just the practice that students will see, as well as how the module summary allows them to just kind of do a checklist of the things that they should have learned within the module. Additionally, with the test practice, these text practice items are designed in order to prepare them for that best end of course. So as students work on these items, teachers can either assign this online in the platform, or some teachers may even decide to do printables and have it in the classroom. But the preference is to assign it so that students can be able to see their work and teachers can give feedback. One of the support programs that occur with the Algebra 1 and geometry is a program called ALEX. So within ALEX, it allows students to work on certain skills that they may not successfully have understood, and it takes them toward, it prepares them for on grade level understanding. So it will be working on skills that are related to algebra if they're in algebra, or geometry if they're in geometry. And what teachers are able to do, they can assign this for 30 minutes a week. Doesn't mean they'll just sit in a 30-minute session. They'll have like two 15-minute sessions where they're actually able to complete these particular lessons. Now, students do take an adaptive test, and that allows them to know their performance and how they're ready for Algebra 1. Now, if there's some skills that they're lacking, they're going to give them what you see on the screen as a pie. And so within that pie, it's going to recommend to students the lessons they should work on in order to be successful at the end of the year with Algebra 1 end of course. If we look at our other high school math courses, if you have a student that's in Algebra 2 or pre-calculus or math for college algebra, these are the textbooks and the platforms that we use. Again, students will log on, they will see the logo that's on the right, and they will be able to access all of the material for each of these courses as well. Now, one of the things we do like about our high school math courses, they do again have the support of Khan Academy, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. It is a supplemental program, but teachers do have the option to look at reportings. They have the options to assign. They can even assign students to do course mastery. And what that means, students work at their own pace based off of the diagnostic tests that they've taken to make sure that they're successful with the skills that they will need. Sorry about that. The good thing about Khan Academy is that it does have the videos that students can watch, and then it also assesses their knowledge based off the videos immediately. If a student is following that video right up under there, there may be a quiz for it, but students are able to do the work that either the teacher has assigned or they can work on their pathway. All right. So, just lastly, always remind parents just to make sure that you contact your child's school if you have any questions about what they're learning and the pacing of their assessments that they're going to have, and you can find out anything that you need to help your student learn at home. The most important thing is taking those parent letters and just staying connected with what students are doing, so that maybe you can have those conversations or to help guide your student along as they're working with their math and their coursework. But if you have any questions, if you need to contact anyone from the district, these are our contact information below. Again, I'm Emily Collins, Supervisor for Secondary Mathematics, and Cindy Barraza is our K-12 Math Director.
Okay, so my name is Latricia Baker, and I am the supervisor of secondary science, and I will go over the blended learning platforms for science. So this year, we finally joined our ELA and math counterparts with all online or digital materials. So there are quite a few platforms that your students may be using. The first one is for our middle school courses. That is Accelerate Learning or STEM Scopes, as you can see at the top of this chart. So students will log in to Accelerate Learning, and it is single sign-on as with all of our platforms, as you can see. So it's the same login that they use to get into their computers. And then once they get into that Accelerate Learning, it will be the STEM Scopes platform. With For our biology course, we have Savas, Easy Bridge. So a lot of these will look very familiar to the math and ELA ones because some of our resources and platforms are the same. So those same platforms that they are using for ELA and math, they will be using for science as well. For the following courses: anatomy, chemistry, environmental physics, physical science, and marine, they will be using the online platform of McGraw-Hill. There are currently no adopted textbooks for our integrated science course. That particular course has other curated resources, so there is no textbook for that course. Our forensic science classes also have a textbook that is not digital. So for our other courses, our for other platforms that we have access to, we also have Admentum. That is a practice platform that we have for certain courses, which you can see. But Admentum also has additional platforms that are called tutorials and courseware. So a couple of our courses have access to those, and they have features that are very specific to that particular type of science. Those additional programs are only offered to standard level students. So if your students are in either environmental or biology, those additional study island platforms or those additional Edmonton platforms are only available for your standard level students. We do suggest 30 minutes per week on this particular platform. So 30 minutes per week on that study island platform is what we suggest for our students. And that is the first icon. That second icon is the courseware icon, and that is for your environmental science students. And this last one is for biology and those tutorials. And then finally, we have Legends of Learning. This one is very interactive. This is actually game-based learning, where students are actually learning while playing a game. This particular platform we only have access to through December because of budget cuts, but the kids absolutely love this platform. So while we suggest 30 minutes a week for this platform as well, our students, you will find that your students are going to really love to be in that platform. And it's great because even though they're playing games, they have to know the science in order to be able to be successful in the game. So that is one that you probably will see at home a lot. Again, we only have access to that platform through December due to budget cuts. But again, all of our resources are digital. The only course in secondary science that has a physical textbook is forensic science. So again, all of our other courses are digital textbooks with the exception of integrated science, which has no textbook at all. So just once again, the top three are our instructional materials. So this is essentially our textbooks. These are all online. Again, for middle school, our adapted textbook is Accelerate Learning STEM Scopes. For biology, it is Savas Easy Bridge. And then for these courses, it is McGraw-Hill or or for forensics, that is a physical textbook. And for integrated science, there is no textbook. These follow the bottom two resources, digital resources, are supplemental resources. And the courses that you can see here have access to these platforms. And just remember, the students only have access to Legends through December. So it's important that they get into that platform and start using those games now. And that is all that I have. Again, my name is Latricia Baker, and I am the supervisor of secondary science.
Thank you, participants, for joining us this afternoon, and I hope to see you at another Parent Academy again soon.